Ever felt like you're navigating different versions of yourself, depending on where you are, maybe who you're with?
Oh, yeah.
That constant awareness, of how you're being perceived.
Yeah. Right.
Well, today we're diving into a really foundational concept in Black studies. W.E.B. Du Bois' double consciousness. He coined it way back in 1903 in his landmark book, The Souls of Black Folk.
Such an important work.
Exactly. And our mission today is to really unpack this idea, go beyond just the definition, and see why it still feels so vital, so relevant, even now.
Yeah, it really does resonate.
So, okay, let's get into Du Bois' own words. He defines double consciousness as this peculiar sensation, this sense of always looking at oneself through the eyes of others.
Right.
It's not just being self-aware, it sounds like a weight, a burden.
It absolutely is. And what's really crucial here, I think, is how it captures that internal conflict, particularly for African Americans, historically speaking.
Okay.
You're citizens, technically, but also treated as outsiders. Du Bois famously called it a two-ness.
Two-ness.
Being American,
Right.
with all the ideals of liberty and equality sort of dangled in front of you, but also being Black and historically shut out from those very things. So it's not just a label someone puts on you.
No.
It's this deep, lived conflict inside, a conflict of perception, of experience.
And that psychological side, that two-ness, that's where it gets really interesting, I think. It sounds like it leads to a kind of fragmented self.
That's a great way to put it, fragmented.
You're constantly trying to balance the version of yourself, your background, your community, against this other version, the one that a prejudiced society projects onto you.
Yeah, often a distorted version.
Right. Distorted. And he talks about feeling like an object, which is such a stark way to put it.
It is. Du Bois wrote about it so vividly. He said, one ever feels his two-ness, an American, a Negro, two souls, two thoughts, two unreconciled strivings.
Wow. Two unreconciled strivings.
Yeah. And that really makes you question our whole idea of a single, stable identity, doesn't it?
It really does.
It suggests that for many people, identity isn't just something you have. It's something produced through struggle, through contradiction. It's that internal battle he's highlighting.
And this struggle, this internal conflict, it's not just something locked in 1903, is it? It feels incredibly relevant today.
Absolutely. It's not just history. The concept resonates so powerfully now. Think about any marginalized group trying to balance their cultural roots with pressure to assimilate.
Okay, yeah.
Or just individuals navigating code switching.
Explain that a little more, code switch.
It's basically adjusting how you speak, your mannerisms, even your behavior, to fit different settings, like maybe a Black professional feeling they have to suppress parts of their cultural expression at work in a very corporate space.
Right, gotcha.
Or maybe a second-generation immigrant constantly shifting between languages or social norms, depending on whether they're with family or, out with friends from a different background.
That makes sense.
And what was really groundbreaking about Du Bois, I think, is how he saw oppression wasn't just about, laws or economics. He dug into the psychological side, the existential weight of it all. It feels like he was ahead of his time, almost prefiguring thinkers like Fanon, talking about colonialism's impact, or even bell hooks on how power shapes our inner lives.
But hang on, Du Bois didn't only see it as a negative thing, this two-ness, did he? Was there maybe an upside?
That's such a crucial point.
Yeah.
And no, he didn't just see the burden. He actually saw it as a potential source of insight, too.
Insight? How so?
Well, he argued that this double consciousness, this experience of being both inside and outside, could actually give African Americans a sharper view of American society.
Oh, interesting.
Like a more nuanced perspective. One that could see both the promise, the ideals America talks about, but also the hypocrisy, the reality, with maybe more clarity than those who only see it from the inside.
So like a critical lens almost.
Exactly. A critical lens born from experience. And if you think bigger picture, it really shows how identity isn't just personal. It's deeply political, it's historical, it's shaped by power.
Yeah.
And that idea has had a huge influence, on fields like critical race theory, looking at race and power and law and post-colonial studies. It helps us understand those internal experiences.
So this whole deep dive into double consciousness, it really gives us some powerful language, doesn't it? For understanding those internal tensions people feel when they're juggling multiple realities, multiple identities.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it keeps shaping conversations today in sociology, psychology, critical theory. It just highlights the ongoing complexities of how we see ourselves and how we're seen. Still so relevant.
So For you listening right now, maybe consider this. How could understanding this idea of double consciousness deepen your own empathy, your awareness when you encounter different experiences, or maybe even help you reflect on times in your own life where you've felt a sort of duality and need to adapt?